Now let's go over some very common but very dysfunctional things that you see in the modern domestic horse. And the reason these things are common is because a lot of people don't actually know what they're looking at when they're looking at the bottom of the foot. One of the most common things you see in a foot these days is underrun heels. And the reason it's so common is because when you look at it from the profile view like this is a very rough sketch, you would look at this foot and you would think, well, that's a decent size planter or palmer, whatever you want to call it. If I took that down, it would seem like it would be way not enough heel and your horse's hairline would be sitting on the ground, when actually that's not the case. This is an underrun heel. And if you look at the grid of any horse that has underrun heels, they have these lines that are parallel to the dorsal, but when you get closer to the heel, they tend to pull under themselves like this. And this is a very good indication that your horse has underrun heels. And David Landerville puts it in a very good way, where you have to imagine all of these lines are attached to a string. And when the heel becomes underrun, it's like the string is pulling all of these lines in like a drawstring. So you think, well, this heel is super underrun, but there's not really any material there you could take down, otherwise your hairline would be sitting on the ground. But that's not really the case, because when you have, let's look at the bottom of the foot again. Quickly drop, bottom of the foot. When you have a foot with underrun heels, this is the toe. The heels are way up here. So this would be an underrun heel. You have your heels way up here when, remember, they're supposed to come all the way down here to meet the bottom of the frog. So you actually have a lot of material you can take off at these heels without making the hairline drop to the ground. And it's super uncomfortable for the horse to walk on these overgrown heels because they're not actually bearing weight on the edge of the heel like they're supposed to be. They're actually putting weight that's pressing the heel into the hoof because their weight is going to be back here more. So if your horse has underrun heels like this, they're going to be very ouchy in the back of their foot, which is going to make them put more pressure on their toe. And horses that favor their heel and put pressure on their toe start to walk toe first. That means when they're walking, their toe hits the ground before the rest of the hoof. Now, it's super common for horses to have toe first landing, but it is very detrimental to the rest of their leg and their foot and the rest of their body, and it increases the risk of tripping, and it also wears at the toe a lot more, and it starts to break away at the material at their sole. So all of that is not good.